Welcome everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. Patrick Evans with you, and today we are doing something kind of interesting, I think. It's an experiment, I'll be honest. This is totally an experiment. It was born out of necessity. I was planning on doing a vegetarian chili, Italian style today, and the folks that usually come and have dinner with me on these Thursday evenings, my friends the Herwigs, they vetoed that. Hello, Gidra, good to see you. So I had to think out of the box today, and I've been kind of focusing this month through the end of September and into October. I've been focusing on what are good kind of fall hearty dishes for this time of year, and I came across this recipe. It sounds delicious. It sounds different. It sounds interesting. It is beef, bacon, and beer with spaghetti. Hello, Maureen. Good to see you. So in honor of that, I'm going to have a Moretti beer as my beverage this evening. I've got my trusty USS Enterprise bottle opener, boldly opening beer that no man has drunk before. For the actual recipe, I'm going to be using a bottle of Peroni beer. Hello, Lori. Nice to see you. So this is, I think it's going to be a really interesting and delicious dish, but we're going to find out together. I've got my water on for my pasta. We're going to use long pasta for this. Any Aussie beers? My brother-in-law, Johnny Ruck. No, I don't have any Aussie beers here, but I would enjoy you bringing some Aussie beers here, and we can have a beer tasting. So I've got my ground beef ready to go. I have got one finely diced onion. I picked up a fresh leek from the farmer's market. Thanks, Johnny. I know that Johnny Ruck will provide good beer. He always does. And Aussie wine. You have to tell us sometime. I'm going to have you on as a sommelier, and you can tell us about your Aussie wine. Anyway, there's a little Worcestershire sauce in this. So I've got a fresh bottle. That's going to go in near the end. A little garlic. We've got that. Ramontia, you love leeks. So yeah, Ramontia, I'm using Peroni beer for the recipe, but I prefer to drink Moretti. So cheers. Oh, that's good. I did a pumpkin bisque, Rebecca, a couple of weeks ago that was delicious. Hello, Trish. Nice to see you. So this starts with the bacon. So I put a little olive oil. Got olive oil from my friend over at All of a Sudden. Isfecata, indeed. And I thought it was, we're in the middle of Oktoberfest, so it seemed appropriate to cook with beer. So I got my bacon already in there. I got about 4 strips of bacon diced up, cut up and put in there. All right, so we got that going. Now we're going to add in the leeks and the onions. So we're going to put that in there like that. Stir that in. And actually, I was looking at this, and I usually, when I make a brand new recipe, I try to follow it exactingly. I put a little less bacon, fewer strips than they suggested by 2, because, I don't know, I just didn't want it overly bacony. I think, bacon is such a powerful flavor. I had enough bacon for it. It wasn't that I didn't have it. I just thought, man, that sounds overly bacony. But anyway, this is going to be a beefy, hearty pasta. We're going to put spaghetti in there. And so we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, the vegetarian chili got vetoed. But that's okay. We are resourceful and creative. And we can always come up with something interesting to cook here in the kitchen. So we're going to do this pasta. All right, so we've got our leeks in there. We're going to add in our onions. Whoops, got some on the floor. Let me get those. Before the dogs get to them, onions, dogs can't have onions. So we've got our onions, our leeks, and our bacon sauteing. And we're going to saute this until the onions are nice and translucent. Then we're going to add in our garlic, and then we're going to add in our beef. Actually, I take that back. We're going to add in the beer, and then we add in the beef. So we're going to deglaze the pan, which is always my favorite part of cooking. We're going to deglaze the pan with a little beer, a little Peroni beer. So I've got my heat up at medium high, and we're just going to cook this down. I'm going to add the garlic in just a few minutes. I'm going to let that saute. I've got some fresh thyme that we're going to put into that, and it should be absolutely delicious. And there we go, we're back. It should be a very interesting dish. You're going to need a little tomato paste for this. And so I've got that. Here's my garlic over here. And you're going to need a can of crushed tomatoes, which I have right here, our nice Cento crushed tomatoes. Tammy, making you hungry, huh? So here's our Peroni beer. I'll pop the lid on that. Get that ready for action as we continue to saute our veggies in here with our bacon. Oh yeah, this is... Now next week, I already know what I'm making next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. Next week, and again, keeping with the idea of kind of hearty fall dishes, autumnal dishes, I'm going to make an Italian special that I only had on very, very special occasions as cooked by my aunt and uncle in New Jersey. And it's called spezzatini. It is a veal stew, an Italian veal stew. And the interesting thing about it is it's not as soupy as stews that we normally make here. It's not like our beef stew where it comes with a lot of broth. You don't serve it in a bowl, you serve it on a plate, but it's still very stew-like. It's got the carrots and the potatoes, but veal. And so it's really, so that's next week. So put that on your calendar for next Thursday. So we're just waiting for the onions to soften up, and then we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna put a little garlic in there. You know, Italians are not known for their beer. Bill, this is I saw Liz today, by the way, over at Gelson's. But I love Moretti, and also Moretti Red is a very good beer as well. So, but I'm going to use Peroni for the dish because I think it's a little lighter and more apropos to what we're doing. All right, so we've got the leeks, the onions, and our bacon. I'm adding in our garlic. There we go. Get all that garlicky goodness in there. So we got that going. Saute that around. Get that nice and aromatic. Now I always put in the garlic the very last thing when we're sauteing the onions and everything because you don't want it to burn and get bitter. You just want to kind of saute it a little bit, let it open up, infuse the rest of the dish with a little flavor. Turn up the heat on our pasta water so we can boil the pasta soon. And then we're going to deglaze this pan with all of our goodies in it with our beer. So a very interesting, different kind of dish. Hey, the cameraman's arrived, so now I don't have to be doing all this myself. Are you ready to go to work, Richard?
I'm a little busy.
You're a little busy. Yeah, he's busy. He comes. All right. So we. Hello, Dave. The beer goes in the pasta. The beer goes in the cook and the pasta. You know, you got to have. You can't just have one beer. If you're cooking with beer, you got to have one for yourself, right? That's my buddy Dave, who's a great chef. And of course, we got a little Worcestershire sauce, which I find a very interesting flavor to add into this. Don't kick the dogs. You should come over here.
Almost broke my leg.
You come over here and eat my food and kick my dogs. All right, now we're going to add in our beer. A whole bottle of Peroni. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. And now we're going to reduce this. Already smelling pretty delicious. So we'll get that bubbling and going. The beer will cook down very quickly. And we'll put our pasta on. We're going to use long noodles for this dish. And this is one of those dishes where We're going to take a little scoop of the pasta water and we're going to put it in the sauce and just before we serve it. And then we're going to put the pasta right in the sauce, stir it around, and then we'll plate it and it'll be ready to go. It's going to be fantastic. Pretty easy kind of middle of the week dish if you want to cook because it doesn't take that long. I think start to finish, you're going to be about 30, 45 minutes on this dish. So it's just something that you can whip up in the middle of the week and it will satisfy the whole family. Don't worry about the beer content. Remember that the alcohol will cook off entirely. So you can still serve it to the kids. I'm going to turn that light on so people can get a better look at that. Can you zoom in on there so folks can see? We got our bacon, and you've got leeks and onions and garlic, and a little beer that we are cooking down, and it's disappearing pretty quickly. So that's, again, a Peroni, but you can use really, the recipe did not specify which beer. It basically said any lager will do. So there we go. That's what we've got in it. And so the 3 B's pasta, beef, beer, bacon. It should be, it's always fun to experiment every once in a while. And so, oftentimes, Joel, let's see. Am I starting a catering service? Sure, Joel. Joel, I will do that, absolutely. But my price is extremely high, and there are far better caterers in the valley. Most of the recipes I do frequently are old family recipes or things that I really love and just kind of like at different restaurants want to duplicate. I've done a few of those. This is just a brand new one. So out of necessity, that is, of course, the mother of invention. So we're cooking that down, and in just a minute, we're going to put our beef in there. It's a pound of ground beef. And so it's going to be a pretty beefy sauce, but it's different than a meat sauce. One thing I need to put in here while we're doing this, I got to put a couple tablespoons of tomato paste, like that. Like that. So there's going to be a hint of red. It's going to be vaguely a red sauce. Some paste that we're cooking down in our beer and leeks and bacon. Oh, that's nice. There we go. That's looking delicious. Very nice. I like how the tomato paste just dissolves into the beer and you get a really rich color out of that. Bobby, what did he miss? You missed the beginning where we sauteed bacon, onion, and leeks and garlic. And now we've added beer and tomato paste. We're going to put a little fresh thyme in here in just a little bit. I just want to get that beer down a little bit. Reduce it till it's almost all gone. And then we'll add in our ground beef, and we'll brown that, and then we're going to add in our chopped tomatoes. 1 can of finely chopped tomatoes from Cento. So I've got my fresh thyme here that we're going to use. Open my thyme packet. I don't want to spill it everywhere. Turn the heat down on that a little bit. Put in some fresh thyme, like that. There we go. Just a few sprigs, right? Nice fresh herbal flavor. Put that in there. Oops, don't want the stalks in there. Just the leaves. So, not a lot of ingredients, but a little more than usual. Most Italian cooking I like because it's simple and very few ingredients, and it just comes out simple and delicious. All right, this with the bacon is going to be a whole different ball game. All right, we've reduced our beer. You can see it's been reduced down to just about a third of that bottle. Keep the heat up. And let's put in our ground beef. Just stir that in, get it cooking. In there with our thyme, our leeks, our garlic, our onions. And the bacon. You know, every fall dish really should have a little bacon in it. Thanks, Pamela. You know, I think it sounds pretty delicious. We're gonna find out here in just a little bit. It's always fun to experiment a little, try new dishes, and you know, every once in a while you find one that you really love and you add it right to the repertoire. So this may become a staple. We'll see. The dogs seem very interested in it, but anything with beef and bacon, they particularly love. Richard, how does it sound to you? Beef, bacon, you can eat that, can't you?
I can eat that.
I was telling everybody that the vegetarian chili was add sour cream and dill. My wife will add sour cream and dill to everything. No, there's no sour cream and dill in this dish. Neither of the above, sweetheart. Hello, Elliot. Elliot, I particularly like this stainless steel pot. Hey, Beatrice, where's the leftover? I'm drinking the beer. I have some I like my stainless, my non-stick stuff. But this pan I really like for particularly when I'm going to be putting pasta right in with the sauce. I like this bigger, deeper dish that I have. All right, so we're going to continue to cook our beef. Oh, that looks good. Get that all nicely mixed up with our leeks and our garlic. And I'm using the ground beef that I used was 85-15, so it's fairly lean, but I wanted a little fat content in it. There's going to be plenty of fat content. Hi, Jan. Fat content from the rendered bacon fat, which is, I didn't take that out. You know, drain, it's got to be in the dish. Scarpiello for us. Oh, hey, that's a good idea. Dave, I like how you're thinking. Dave, you're always welcome to send me suggestions, and if you guys want great recipe suggestions, follow my buddy Dave Taves. He's got Yummy Cooking with Dave. It's a great website, and I've gotten some great ideas off of his website as well. Hello, Trish. Trish is watching. All right, we're going to stir that in. This sauce is looking meaty and delicious. Different kind of meat sauce. So we'll just... All right, we got that in there. I think maybe a couple more sprigs of thyme. Like that. But to my wife's chagrin, no dill and no sour cream. Although she would argue that dill and sour cream make any dish better. She would. We have a lot of dill at the house here for that very purpose. And usually a full refrigerator of sour cream as well. So there's our fresh thyme that I'm stirring in. All right, that's looking pretty good. Our beef is cooked through. Our pasta water is boiling, so we can put on the pasta in just a moment. We'll do that. Calls for a dash of Worcestershire sauce. Hi, Bill Golden. Good to see you. So we'll put a... What, Richard? Don't make a face. It's just Worcestershire sauce. Ooh.
Your dash and my dash are a little different dashes. I hate to see your pinch.
The pinch is generous. I have a generous dash and a generous pinch. All right, that looks great. While that's simmering, I'll come put these back. We're going to put our tomatoes in, but I want to put my pasta on. Actually, I'm going to let that simmer a little bit more. I don't want to put the pasta on just yet. So now, pasta water's at a nice boil. I've got my Cinto chopped tomatoes. You can get these at a lot of places. I do a lot of my shopping at the Gelson's here in Rancho Mirage. And my friend Liz Senso's there, Bill's wife. Bill's, of course, with the Chamber of Commerce in Thousand Palms. So I got that in there. I like to get all of my tomatoes. So I put a little dash of water in there. I should have put more beer in there is what I should have done. All right, now we're going to stir that in. Oh, that's nice. Already this is looking fantastic. I can't wait to try this. Bring the heat back up on that. All right. So while that is simmering, let's recap our ingredients. You're going to need an onion chopped pretty nicely, pretty finely. You're going to need 1 leek. And so you got to do that. Dice it up very finely. And then you're going to need 3 cloves of garlic, You're going to need 6 strips of bacon, and you're going to need a pound of ground beef, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and 1 can of chopped tomatoes. I really like these. The Cinto crushed tomatoes work really great in most of my dishes. So, and like I said, I use Peroni beer. I think, again, Italy not known for its beers, but Peroni and Moretti, pretty good beers, not bad. And the Moretti Red is really delicious. So we've got those. The sauce is coming along. I'm going to let that simmer down. But that's looking very good. I need to put a little salt and pepper in that. Now I'm going to grab my pasta. We're going to put that in the water. Who made this mess? Did I make this mess? All right. That's an open box. Growing up as a kid, we always used Ronzoni spaghetti. I like the Barilla. What you're going to make a comment? You have a comment from the peanut gallery, sir?
Ronzoni sono boni. Ronzoni is so good.
The Ronzoni is good. It's great pasta. Cooks up al dente, which I like. You guys hungry? Very hungry? Not so hungry? What are you guys? Hungry?
Yeah,
Very hungry, okay. There we go. All right, so we got the pasta in, and about the time that the pasta is done, our sauce should be cooked just about to perfection. Stir that pasta in. I am not one that breaks my pasta when I put it in the pot. I don't like to do that. What are you laughing at? Would you break your pasta?
I never broke my pasta.
Don't break your pasta. If you're going to have long noodles, you want them...
I break my pasta.
Do you really? Mr. Herwig. Disappointed. All right, this is simmering a little too much. I'm going to cut that back a little bit.
Mrs. Hurley does not break her pasta.
Mrs. Herwig does not break her pasta. See?
She,
2 out of 3 people do it right. I'm going to get in trouble because I think my wife breaks the pasta all the time. So there. All right, you can see there's still a fair amount of liquid in this sauce. So we want to cook that down a little bit. So we'll just let that simmer. But isn't that pretty? A little different kind of sauce with the bacon in there and all beef. Normally when I make a meat sauce, I use beef, pork, and veal. And I was trying to follow the recipe as faithfully as I could. They did, as I said, they called for more bacon than I put in. But I think it's going to be bacony enough. Lana's watching. Hi there, Lana. How are you? Bill Senso. See, he never breaks his pasta. Richard, you're in the minority. A little more fresh thyme in there. Oh, this smells delicious. All right. We got that cooking. I don't want it sticking to the bottom of my pan. All right, we're going to be serving that up in just a couple of minutes as soon as the pasta is ready. Nice salty water. Don't put oil in your water. You can add it to the pasta after you've drained it, but it's not good to put it... I know some people like to do that. All right, so we're just waiting for the pasta. The sauce looks pretty good, I think. Hello, Jim Bentley. Nice to see you. So now we're just going to wait a little bit until it is reduced down appropriately, and then we're going to serve it up. In the meantime, I can enjoy my Italian beer. I'm going to get out my pasta bowls. These, I got these over at World Market. They come from Italy. They're made in Italy. And after Christmas, they were on sale, the whole set, the big bowl and all 4 of the little bowls for like $22. It was a great deal. I'm the last of the big spenders when it comes to dishes. So, once again, I'll recap the recipe for you guys. Finely diced onion, Bacon chopped up. You saute the bacon first, then you add in your onion and your leek, which is also finely chopped. Get that nice and softened up, then you add in your garlic. Once you add in your garlic, you're going to deglaze the pan with your beer. You're going to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I use this Chinto, the squeeze tube of tomato paste. That way, when if you open a can of tomato paste, you got to use it all or it's gone. So this is great for when you don't need a whole can of tomato paste. You need 1 can of chopped or crushed tomatoes, which we put in there, and a pound of ground beef, and 1 bottle of Peroni beer. So it's pretty easy. A dash of Worcestershire sauce, some fresh thyme, and now I want to put in some salt and pepper. Don't freak out, Richard. Oh. 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 There we go. The bacon's got a lot of salt in it, so I'm going easy on the salt. You can always add it in later. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you. So let's see how we're doing. It's reducing nicely. Just cooking out some of the liquid that came with the tomatoes. We cooked down most of the beer. This smells delicious. Again, a good hearty fall dish. And it will feed a whole mess of people. Or very few hungry ones. We'll see. When I'm going to write a cookbook. I've saved all of these recipes. We've been doing this since, I think April of last year, when the pandemic was deep upon us and all the restaurants were closed. I started making recipes. One night I decided I was going to make steak Sinatra, and I think there might have been a cocktail involved, but I thought, wouldn't it be fun to just make it live on Facebook? And I had not made it before. I'd had it at a lot of my favorite restaurants, including Johnny Costa's. Hi there, Linda. It looks delicious, and it smells really good. It's just going to be a very different kind of sauce with the bacon in there and the beer. Normally when you think of Italian cooking, you think of red wine and beef and pork and veal and not really bacon. Pancetta, sure. But this is going to be, as I said, it's a little bit of an experiment. And the good news is if we don't like it, we'll just order some pizza. But no, I think it's going to be delicious. So I saved all of those recipes that I've cooked over the last several months. I've only taken a couple of weeks here and there off. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. And next week, I can't wait. The veal spezzatini stew that I'm going to make is going to be really, really good. So, Jim, you're going to Johnny Costa's tonight. Get the steak Sinatra. The other thing we love at Johnny Costa's, they make the best chicken parm in town. It's so good. They do it the right way. They pound out the chicken until it is really nice and thin, so it stays really just fantastic. And it just is the best chicken parm in town. Put a little more thyme in there. Since we have a lot of fresh thyme, and we're not out of time yet, there we go. All right, it's coming along. The pasta needs just a couple of more minutes. And then we're going to plate it up. So again, next week we're going to be doing a veal stew. So if you guys are interested in that, you're going to Chef George's. Who's singing at Chef George's tonight, Jan? Which one of the Italians is singing down there? Is it D'Angelo? There are a whole bunch of great performers that go down there to Chef George's. I think Keisha D did an evening there. So if you're looking for live entertainment, Chef George's down just at Washington. Jim, I'm checking the pasta. For those of you wondering, the Dodgers are up 3-2 over the Braves. It's an elimination game. Tonight is Mark Antonelli at Chef George's. Mark is really a fantastic performer. If you guys haven't seen Mark Antonelli, he's just one of those guys that puts on, it's more than just, he has an amazing voice. He puts on a real show. He's a real entertainer. So you guys should go check him out if you have a chance. So I think we're just about there on this. You can see the consistency. It looks a bit like a bolognese, but there's no carrots or celery in there. We've added no cream. In bolognese, we add cream. We didn't do that with this dish. So the 3 B's, beef, beer, and bacon, and our spaghetti, which is just about done. I'm going to check one more time, but I think we're right there on the pasta. And then we're ready to plate it up and see how this turns out. Brandon, Chef Freddie, who of course appears on Eye on the Desert every Tuesday. Brandon Iriarte is our Eye on the Desert producer. He's an amazing producer. He also produces News Channel 3 630 program. But Chef Freddie and I share recipes. And I was really honored because I made some veal and ricotta meatballs, and Chef Freddie, about 2 weeks later, he did pork and ricotta meatballs, and he gave me a shout out. He said he was inspired by my veal meatballs, which was very sweet of Chef Freddie. He's a great guy. If you guys are ever down at Fantasy Springs, great entertainment and great food. The bistro, all of their restaurants, they do amazing specials. So I'll give a shout out to my buddy Chef Freddie Rieger. A nice guy from Jersey. All right, let's drain our pasta. Watch out, Richard. I'm gonna need to get by you. Watch out, dogs. Hold on. Turn off the burner. Now, one thing I want to do is just get a little of our pasta water. That goes in there. And you might ask why. Why? Because the pasta water has a little starch in it, and that's going to help the sauce cling to the noodles. So we'll stir that in. Now we'll drain our pasta. There we go. Excellent. Drain the pasta off. Whew. The colander's hot. It's very hot. All right. Now, see, I made a mess over here, but that's all right. Let's see how this turned out. Tongs, get my pasta bowl. All right. So we're just going to take the pasta, just like this. Oops. Just like that. And we're going to put it right in the sauce. Stir that around. All right. Now we have our beef, beer, and bacon pasta ready for sampling. I want to get it all nicely coated. Oh, look at that. I don't know, Richard, this is looking pretty tasty. A little pasta, like that. And then we're going to get a little sauce, like that. All right, guys, come over here. Let's see how we did. This is our beef, beer, and pasta. Come around on that side so you're not shooting into the window. Okay. Proof is always in the pudding. It smells bacony. That is really good. You guys are going to love that. You guys are going to love this. This is really tasty. Very different flavor profile than your traditional Italian meat sauces. I think you're really going to like it. I will, when I'm finished later on this evening, I will add the full recipe onto the top of this video, and I will pin the video to the top of my page, and it stays pinned there for the week. And I will also post it to my YouTube page, which is In the Kitchen with Patrick Evans. You can find most, I say most, I should put all of my videos there, but sometimes I forget. It's just the way it works. It's hard to run the sausage company, do the TV, do the radio, do a cooking show, and remember to do my YouTube, but I'll do my best. Dave, this is a really good dish. You're going to love it. I'm going to post the recipe, and you might want to try it out yourself and do your version of it and put it on Yummy Cooking with Dave. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my beer and my pasta and serve the camera guy and his beautiful wife. And I wish you guys a great rest of the week. I'll see you tomorrow morning on News Channel 3. Got another busy weekend here in the Valley. There's all kinds of stuff going on. A Desert Ensemble Theater's doing a big concert. We've got all kinds of activities. And it's going to be just a great weekend of weather. Maybe some rain on Monday, though. We'll keep an eye on that as well. So anyway, thanks for joining me here in the kitchen. Have a great evening and try this recipe. If you're a fan of beer, beef, or bacon, or all three, you're going to love it. Ramontia, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next week right here in the kitchen for veal spezzatini. Oh, Jim Bentley, thank you very much. November 21st at Palm Valley. Go see Jim Bentley. He's a great singer. Michelle, thanks. Have a great night, guys.